Hello, friends. So, I just returned from probably the biggest adventure of my life, a hiking and writing trip to the Picos de Europa in northern Spain. Throw in traveling for over 24 hours to a country where I don't know the language to meet a group of total strangers, and the definition of adventure is made. Hello, I'm Dr. Renee Harmon. I'm the author of Surfing the Waves of Alzheimer's. It's a memoir about my husband Harvey and his time with younger onset Alzheimer's disease. It's been about 2.5 years since he's passed away, and I'm beginning to come out of that fog of caregiving and grief, as well as coming out of COVID, and I'm beginning to do some adventuring. So this writing and hiking trip, I really didn't know what to expect. I did think that the hiking portion would be all right. I've hiked for years, and the leaders had actually sent us distances and elevation changes. So I kind of knew what to expect, although I had never hiked for 5 days in a row. What I didn't expect and what was most surprising was the variety of terrain in which we hiked. We hiked on roads, on narrow paths cut into stone cliffs. We hiked on rock-strewn steep trails. We hiked on cow tracks of deep mud. We hiked through meadows and forests and pastures and fern glades. It was really amazing. Now, I had my trekking poles, and with them I kept my balance and injured neither my feet nor my knees. I was on less sure footing with the writing portion of this. I really had no idea what to expect. Our writing coach, Minton Sparks, is wildly creative in her writing and her storytelling. And I'll leave a link to her website in the description of this video so you can get a taste of her imagination. And I was worried that I was going to feel somewhat of a dullard in this shining, sparkling presence. But I was put at ease with the method that she used. Every day, she would give us 15 minutes and a loose writing prompt, and we would write and then come back together as a group, and each of us would read what we had written if we chose to. The rest of us would listen intently and keep notes, and then respond with positive and only positive feedback to what worked well in that writing. It was actually very affirming. Now, again, I went on this trip without really knowing what to expect. I didn't read up or study on the history or the culture or the landscape like I normally would. And I think it's because I wasn't in charge. I trusted the leaders and I just went where they told me to go. I ate what was placed in front of me, and I slept in the prearranged accommodations. What if we treated traveling in Alzheimer's world in this same way? Instead of viewing our time as caregivers to loved ones with dementia, as slogging through a desert wilderness, what if we thought of it as an adventure, right? Ultimately, we are not in charge of the day. We cannot plan what's going to happen. Although planning is important, often our plans are just disrupted. How much better it would be to treat it as an adventure and to treat each moment as it arrived as an adventure, to meet our loved ones exactly as they were at that moment, and not get bogged down and anxious about plans that don't pan out the way we'd hoped they would. If we treated caregiving in this kind of creative adventure way, then we would have questions and ideas such as, I wonder what my loved one is going to be like today. I wonder what would happen if I put on her favorite music and asked her to do a chore with me. What what if I bought a robotic pet dog for him? Would he interact with that? Let's try. How can I just play with my loved one today? Maybe we should try to cook a simple dinner together. So instead of getting parched and lost and desperate and despairing in a barren wasteland of caregiving, try thinking of it as an adventure. Thank you. Be well and keep your balance.